If you ever want a more blatant display of imbalance in War Thunder, I think simply look no further than the Warrior compared to the Swingfire. The Swingfire, which has been in the game for an extremely long time now, pretty much since ATGMs were added, not directly when ATGMs were added, because, as always, Britain was forgotten in that patch, until Gaijin finally came around to the realization that Britain does exist. However, recently we've obtained the Warrior, which has an admittedly slow firing, but high penetration 30mm autocannon, with APDS carrying 110mm of penetration, and also ATGMs with 580 through to 730mm of penetration, depending on which ones you have. And these are fairly fast, these ATGMs. Sure, they're not the fastest in the box, but when you compare them to the missiles on the Swingfire, which only has 500mm of penetration and 185 meters a second of velocity, you can realize that even the stock ATGM on the Warrior is significantly more powerful than the Swingfire ATGM. And yes, it is a much smaller projectile, but at the same time, that really doesn't seem to make a difference. If we go into a test drive right now, I'll show you the biggest issue with the Swingfire. Now, the advantage of the Swingfire is meant to be that you have two ATGMs that you can launch consecutively, which is genuinely an advantage. However, the rack is aimed upwards. What that means is that even when you have a target this far away, such as the IT-1, which with pretty much any other ATGM carrier would be pretty easy to aim at, you can see the ATGM goes very low. In certain maps, in certain situations, this means that ATGM will hit the ground, or other circumstances may occur. And once you've fired your ATGM, you have a very long reload, and you can't fire them on the move. And even if you do want to run away from a situation, your mobility is extremely lacking. You have the mobility more of a medium tank than of what you would expect from a light ATGM carrier like this. But the worst part is the reverse rate. Sorry. I mean, only 8 kilometers an hour? That's dreadful. And considering everything else, the slow ATGMs, the upwards launch angle, meaning you can't fire at close range, the fact that that shot just didn't kill the T-62, and now he'd be able to one-shot me, this vehicle is very, very poor for an 8.3 vehicle. However, if we compare that to what we have with the Warrior, you see a very different story. With the Warrior, we have much better mobility. We have a secondary armament that means if our ATGMs don't perform well, we can, very quickly either get out of there or take down a gun barrel or maybe even penetrate the tank. And the reload on these ATGMs is significantly better than the reload on the Swingfire. Not to mention, this vehicle also has a smoke screen, which I don't think you get on the Swingfire. This vehicle is faster, the ATGMs reload quicker, the ATGMs are better, the ATGMs have more penetration, more speed. The vehicle is genuinely significantly faster, and the survivability is very similar, if not better, on the Warrior. Granted, neither of these vehicles can fire ATGMs on the move, but that doesn't really make a difference when, as you can see, pretty much every single one of these ATGMs is going through and killing the tank, whereas with the Swingfire, you will regularly get ATGMs that do nothing when they hit the target. So, really, I don't understand why the Warrior sits at 8.0 while the Swingfire sits at 8.3. I don't have the Striker unlocked, so I can't really talk for the power of the Striker, which is at the same BR as the Swingfire, but I genuinely can't see the advantage of using the Swingfire over the Warrior, and think it would be much more suited if this vehicle was at least at the same BR as the Swingfire, and that will probably come down to reducing the Swingfire's BR rather than increasing the Warrior's BR, because I don't think anybody in the world is complaining about the Warrior being overpowered. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I thought it was very weird that they've done this. That's a lie. I thought it's very Gaijin that they've done this. Forgotten about Britain again. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the future when I'm probably complaining about something else that's never going to get changed or fixed. Bye.